I'm Paul White, and I'm here with my friend Mark Soden, and together we are the Cydonia Collective. We do our own brand of chill and ambient music, and we use some quite interesting plugins to manipulate natural sounds. What are your favourite plugins, Mark?
I guess Adaptaverb, Wormhole, and of course Movement, which we've used extensively, haven't we, on both albums?
We have. All the Zynaptiq stuff's really cool, and I'm quite looking forward to the Orange vocoder when it comes out, which I think is imminent. But Output's Movement is certainly very, very interesting in chopping up sort of bland pad sounds and making them sound far more interesting than they actually are, which works for me. So let's show you a few examples of what we do. For this first example, I'm going to repeat the word wormhole in a very silly voice, and then I'm going to edit it to take out all the gaps. You'll see why in a minute. Wormhole, 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 wormhole. And now with no gaps. Wormhole, 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 wormhole. Suitably silly, I'm sure you'll agree. And the reason I chose the word wormhole is because it doesn't have any sibilant sounds in it, unlike Adaptaverb, which is actually the plugin I'm going to be demonstrating shortly. But first of all, I'm going to use Time+Space to stretch the phrase to around 4 times its original length. Wormhole. Well, that's quite enough of that. So next I'm going to pass it through a pitch corrector and set it to some of the notes of the D minor scale, and I'm going to set the pitch correction speed to its fastest. Autotune or any of its clones will do fine for this. Okay, still not an epic, but wait and see what happens when I add Adaptaverb set to one of its choral hall reverb settings with the mix set to 100% wet. Well, that's certainly more musical, but we can also try Adaptaverb's keyboard mode to force the harmonics in the reverb tail to match the notes that we dial in using the on-screen keyboard. In this case, I'm just going to put the 3 notes of the D minor chord into there. To build up a bigger choral sound, you could always try adding another layer, maybe with the original sound reversed and a different Adaptaverb setting, something like this. Next, I'm going to take some very simple guitar chords, and then I'm going to add Wormhole, which is going to add a fifth to the sound and a little bit of other magic to give it some kind of ethereal quality. And then I'm going to pass it through Output's Movement, which will give it a rhythmic quality. First of all, here's the dry, boring guitar part. And now here it is with the processing. Then about halfway through, we'll add in the Adaptaverb choral sound that we've already created. hear finished compositions that use these kind of processors and a few others, search out Cydonia Collective on all the streaming sites and take a look at the 2 albums that are already up there, which are Stasis and Kronos. And don't forget to take a closer look at those Zynaptiq plugins, especially Adaptive Verb and Wormhole, and also Output's movement.